Hello YouTubers, hope you are having a good day today YouTubers. In today's YouTube video, we're going to be taking a look at this beautiful King Arthur chain-driven triple chime grandfather clock. And what I'm going to do for you today YouTubers, I'm going to show you and give you a tour how the clock works YouTubers. This clock was also filmed on my channel YouTubers. And I might have showed you YouTubers on my channel about the chimes, like chiming on Westminster, St. Michael's, and Whittington YouTubers. This clock, I got it in 2017. The reason why I wanted a grandfather clock is because we did not have a clock in my home before. You can see that's the pendulum. It's made of wood. Has some little thing right here, like has like these metal thing. And these YouTubers secure the door so the door doesn't break or something. You can see there's 3 of them. There's one in the middle, one at the very top, and one at the very bottom. YouTubers. It's a beautiful clock. You can see also has like a leaf of a tree decoration, and it has a key, which I'm gonna open it right now for you guys. This clock comes with only one key and only one door. You can hear it ticking. This is a chain-driven clock. Cable-driven clocks are the one that come with like a cranky tours. A cable-driven clock is a type of grandfather clock, like that 1981 Howard Miller cable-driven grandfather clock. He tours that 1981 Howard Miller cable-driven triple chime grandfather clock. It comes with a crank. He tours. This one is chain-driven. You could see, and there are 3 chains that pull the weights up. It lasts for 7 days, and once you have all these weights at the very top and you wound it, YouTubers, I'm gonna show you how you wind it. This clock has 3 chimes. It plays Whittington, St. Michael's, and Westminster. And it also has a moon dial. So what usually happens is it will click once each day. Like that. Like it will click once every 24 hours. Which is set incorrect right now. So it has the stars. This clock, as I said, plays Whittington, St. Michael's, and Westminster. My most favorite, would be the St. Michael's chime. So I'm gonna show you it playing Whittington. You have a selector switch on the right. You have nothing on the left side. The top would be silent. Your first selector would be at the very top, silent. Second would be Whittington. Third would be St. Michael's, and the very bottom part of the selector would be Westminster. So it's set on Whittington. YouTubers, I'm gonna show you what it sounds like. You may notice that it actually is not chiming. The reason why is because when we moved, or maybe I might have maybe the hammers are actually, do you know, YouTubers, that the hammers are actually not working properly? Because since I got this clock for the very first time, it was working properly. This clock does still keep accurate time. I'll tell you the problems about this clock later in the video, YouTubers. So, on the hour. Nothing. Yeah, also, I haven't mentioned this ever about a grandfather clock on my channel. You get 4 triangles in every corner. You could see. There's one in the top left corner, one in the top right corner, one in the top bottom corner, one in the top bottom right corner. Okay. Switch hands. Quarter past. Nothing. Half past. Nothing. So next, we're gonna put it on the third selector, which is St. Michael's, my favorite chime. Let me just give you guys a focus so it looks clear. Okay, there we go. How to move the selector is you push it down. Okay. On the St. Michael's chime, you get double in notes, which means you get 8 notes. You get 8, 16, 24, and 32 plus whatever hour. So, okay. Chord 2, nothing. On the hour, nothing. Quarter past, half past, nothing. So, even if I switch it into a different chime, it won't chime because something is up with the movement. As I said, I'm gonna say that a little later in the video. Okay, now I'm gonna show you it on Westminster. If you have the same exact grandfather clock, this King Arthur chain-driven triple chime grandfather clock, Westminster, the Westminster chime selector is at the very bottom. Just push it down at the bottom, and then it will play Westminster, the Westminster chime. So Westminster, you don't get like double in notes like St. Michael's. Westminster, you get 4 notes quarter past, 8 notes and half past, 12 notes quarter 2, and 16 notes on the hour. So, quarter 2. On the hour. Nothing. No sound detours. Quarter past. Half past. Nothing. So detours, nothing. Yeah, detours. I was trying to get to the chime, but I know detours, it won't chime detours, and I'm gonna tell you why. So now detours, at the very top of your selector on the right side of your clock face, or on your grandfather clock face, on the grandfather clock face on this King Arthur chain driven triple chime grandfather clock at the top, if you don't know where silent is, usually it says where the chimes are. Silent would be at the very top. You have to push it all the way to the top right there. So silent. Silent means you like turn off like the melody, like the sound, like what's, you cannot actually it won't do anything to her. So I'm gonna show you what it does on silent. It's not gonna do anything. It's just gonna be quiet. What silent does is it turns the whole melody, like the hammers won't hit at all, YouTubers. Quarter two, nothing. Nothing. Quarter past, nothing. Okay. One thing I noticed with the quarter two and the on the hour is that it was making like that click noise. Half past, nothing. So it only clicked on the quarter past hour. I'm also gonna show you a little bit about the pendulum. I know YouTubers, it's actually silver. It goes silver brown, silver brown, silver brown, silver brown. I'm sorry, guys. It goes silver brown, silver brown, silver brown, brown. Hold on, silver brown, silver brown, silver brown, silver brown, brown silver. Brown silver, silver would be at the very end of the pendulum on the right side. These are the chains. These lift up once the weights go down. And how to wind this clock. This clock is a little different to that 1981 Howard Miller triple chime grandfather clock. Plus, this clock company also, it's from a different clock company, not like Howard Miller. What you do is you have to lift this thing wherever you have this chain thing. You pull it like this, YouTubers. I'm gonna show you how to wind the clock. This clock lasts 7 days, and then once all the weights reach down to here, possibly you have to wind all the weights to the top. YouTubers, like, let me show you what I mean. You pull it like this, and that winds that pulls the weights up, and these go down. The chains go to the bottom, but they'll lift. YouTubers, you can hear it ticking. This clock is also possibly a little bit smaller, YouTubers. And I believe the model number of this clock is 36532. Just correct me if I'm wrong on that. Let's get more into the clock, YouTubers. I'm gonna show you. The key should look like this, YouTubers. The key looks like this. The key looks like this, YouTubers. You can also hear some other clocks ticking in the background. Yeah, YouTubers. When I was younger, on that when I was playing with that 1981 Howard Miller triple chime grandfather clock, I didn't even know how to lock it. What I was doing is I actually was pretend that the door is locked. I'm just gonna shut it for a little bit. So usually, the moon dial clicks once each day, which is 24 hours. Once it clicks, you have to wait another 24 hours. This clicks 29 and a half days. The moon dial. Some grandfather clocks also don't have a moon dial. Some do. Some of the grandfather clocks that Howard Miller has only like it's like one clock has like only like 8 hammers in total. So let me show you something. I'm gonna show you inside the movement. You get 8 hammers. You have 8 hammers on the right side. And here's what the sound sounds like of the chime rods. Like, here's what the sound sounds like. Now YouTubers, see this wheel right here? This wheel also connects to this, down to this chime selector. This is what it looks like in the back, YouTubers. And it has some screws, like over down here. And this is where the pendulum is connected to. That's where you put the pendulum, as you can see. Um, Usually some clocks have only 8 hammers in total, which would be the right side would be the right side would have 4 hammers, and the left side would have 4 hammers, which makes 8 hammers in total for just a Westminster chime clock. Um, 12 hammer clock means it can play Westminster, St. Michael's, and um Winnington, St. Michael's, and Westminster. A 16 hammer movement clock plays Ave Maria, Beethoven's Knife, or Westminster. Or it could play Winchester, Whittington, and Westminster. The clock lasts for 7 days without winding. Has like these little gold thing, like little um um these little trove things possibly. You have them on like every. You have two on the bottom left and right corner. You can see there's the bottom left corner, bottom right corner. On the top you have your the top right corner and the bottom left. I'm sorry, guys. Top you get like a little trove thing. Um, you get one on the left. At the top left corner and the top right corner. And the glass is beveled. The glass is beveled over here. Where the bumpy parts are. On the door, it goes all the way down to here, then keeps continuing to be beveled all the way up here, and then all the way around throughout the whole door. Also, the glass is beveled on this part over here. It's beveled from here down to here, down to here, down up, and again up here, and then up here, like where the moon dial is. And this clock doesn't have like a trove like one of these other clocks, like that 1981 Howard Miller triple chime grandfather clock. You have like these rosebud things, and the trove is in the center part. This clock was also not running for maybe like 3 years since we moved out of our old home. That was because we moved out of my old house. That's why we had to move the clock. The clock also needs to have oiling. You have to oil this clock, I believe, 3 to 5 years. Or maybe, I don't know if it's every 3 to 5 years with the service, because you better oil the clock, or if you don't oil it for usually the service 3 to 5 years, that will destroy the movement. Because that 1981 Howard Miller cable driven triple chime grandfather clock, that grandfather clock was oiled once but not twice. It has to be oiled. Usually what the clock man does, he takes the clock face, weights, pendulum out, and then he tries to clean out old dust and stuff like that. YouTubers. You can see there's stars and stuff in the moon dial, and it also has North America. On the left side, you have Pacific Ocean, North America, Atlantic Ocean. On the right side, you have Europe, Asia, Africa, and this stands for 29.5 days. Some of the thing you may notice on the grandfather clock is that the 8 is not always like a normal 8. Some of the 8s are like round, like a circle. YouTubers, they look like exactly like that, like a round circle. YouTubers, and the numbers are not big like the other clock, that Howard Miller grandfather clock at that um hotel where my where Uncle Ricky lives. Um the numbers are actually written way smaller. You could see. Some of the grandfather clocks that actually that some clocks actually have a light in them where you can turn it on. Some of the clocks that have the grandfather clocks that really have lights in them, there's like a switch and you turn it on. Some of them have a light switch with a plug, and you click it and then it turns on the light and you can use it as much as you want. um I hope this clock will work forever in my life, YouTubers. I wonder if it will work for 90 years. And now, YouTubers, I'm gonna get to some of the issues, YouTubers, as I told you, what I'm gonna talk about. The issues, YouTubers. So, the issues with this, King Arthur, with the issues with this, King Arthur chain-driven triple chime grandfather clock. The first issue is that, the minute hand always falls off as the minute hand goes around throughout the hours as the clock is running and ticking. The second problem is that the second issue is that when every time I like sometimes like when I move the minute hand, like you'll see this thing. See, sometimes it clicks. Like the second issue is that every time I move it to like every quarter, like the quarter past half past quarter two and on the hour, you'll see this thing, YouTubers. Maybe like when I move it. See, you can see sometimes it clicks. See, now it's clicking even weaker now. And sometimes I don't know what. See, now it's not clicking. Like when I switched it to the chime. See, sometimes it will do that thing where it clicks and it doesn't click. Like now I'm gonna switch it to another chime. Like I'm gonna put it on Wington. I'm not sure, YouTubers, that is actually an issue. See, sometimes I think maybe the third issue is sometimes the clicks are not loud. And sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's not. Now I'm gonna put it on silent, see what happens. See, now it's not clicking. You could see, you usually hear like a click sound. It's like sometimes the clock is like 1 or 2 minutes late chiming, but it still keeps accurate time. See, now it's clicking again. The second issue is like it sometimes clicks, it sometimes doesn't clicks. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. See, it's like, see, now it's clicking. It like, see, YouTubers, let me show you something. Like, YouTubers, now the third issue is that every time it tries to chime on every quarter, it chimes like a minute. It chimes like a minute and a half late, or almost like 2 minutes. Maybe like about a minute and a half or 2 minutes late chiming. It like chimes like right when it's like 7:17. But let's take a look what happens with the third issue. Or hold on, YouTubers. The second issue was that the second issue was that that it chimes perfectly, but it chimes late. Like sometimes it almost sometimes chimes like maybe even over 2 minutes. Eaters. The third issue is that um um the the chime selector switch gets loose and it's tight, and it's like sometimes like when I'm trying to push it down, it gets loose. See now it's like getting the third issue is like it's very it gets very loose, and you can see, and that connects to that wheel that spins every time it chimes. Sometimes I was also trying to push the chime selector thing out, and usually you should hear like a clicking sound every time you're trying to change the chime. Let me try. Like sometimes for when I'm trying to put on Westminster, it's like so tight on St. Michael's that I'm trying to push the selector to Westminster. See, now it's so loose. Oh, the fourth issue is that the weight, the middle weight actually went down in like 3 or 4 days. That quick, as the clock was like ticking, like throughout every day. I always find the weight like all the way down to here, like 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 right here, like where the line is. See where I'm putting my finger? It would be like ready, like right here. And that's insane, Eaters, how far the weight went down. Like every morning I wake up, I always sometimes find the minute hand is like missing. That's because you need like a knot thing. There's like this knot thing, Eaters, that secures the minute hand and the hour hand. And sometimes this clock does not. The fourth issue is that sometimes the clock does not keep accurate time. Very strange. And the fifth issue is every time sometimes I try to put it on the every quarter, the hammers do not move. Like, let me show you what I mean. Like, when you hear that click sound, that's the sign that it has to chime. Alright, ready? Quarter pass? See, now it's not responding. It's like acting very slow. Like, that's like the fifth issue. See, now I have to like spin the wheel to make it respond. Yeah, YouTubers, that is a bad issue. Yeah, the weights usually have to go down usually when the weights go down when you usually when the clock strikes and chimes, because it's like you have to wind your clock every 7 days. These weights actually help the movement keep the clock accurate time. Usually the weights, this left weight um controls the strike movement. Here's what it sounds like, the striking sound. So that's what the strike sound sounds like. Sometimes it like vibrates. Like sometimes the strike um the sound like just disappears quickly like this. Like let me show you what I mean. Has a very beautiful sound. This controls the strike. The middle weight actually controls the entire clock movement. The right weight is actually the heaviest weight. And that controls the chimes. The chime for the clock. That helps the movement. Also, um, um, make the clock chime every quarter, every half hour, every quarter 2 hour, and on the hour. and it's for some reason it doesn't respond. Like every time I'm trying to like put it, um, um, make it chime. Yeah, you heard this. So what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm just going to put it back to its actual time. You don't really want to play with these hands that roughly because that can actually break the movement. But I'm doing this very gently. I know what I'm doing. Just trust me. Put that to the side so it's 6:57. I'm just gonna put it 1 minute ahead, and then Eaters. So yeah, Eaters. So that is the King Arthur Grand. This is the so yeah, Eaters. Hope you enjoyed the tour of this King Arthur triple chime chain driven grandfather clock. YouTubers, please subscribe, rate, like, and dislike. Comment below how I done on this tour of this clock. YouTubers, be number one fan, like and dislike, as you always know it.